guys, this is Tamala and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday, where we talk to you about treats, business, and life. This week it is November, and we are super excited because it's my birthday month. And so we are here. We're going to give you some tips and tricks about podcasting today. And before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Taylor, owner of Taylor's Kitchen, located in Albion, Michigan, where we make custom treats for your special occasions. And so this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about podcasting, and you can always find me I can be found on all social media platforms at Sweet Spirit Treats. Once again, that is Sweet Spirit Treats. And now I'm going to hand it over to my co-host Tamala to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Tamala with Torlitas for that sweet and crunchy taste. Torlitas is a dessert company located right here in this great state of Ohio, where we specialize in salty, sweet treats. If you want to know more about me and my business, go to @Torlitas. That's T as in Tuesday, ORLITAS. And if you would like to be a part of our podcast, we are here every Tuesday, rain or shine. We're right here on YouTube, Anchor, and anywhere that you find your favorite podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on our show, you are more than welcome. If you are an entrepreneur out there and you are just getting started, or you're a treat maker at home, or you might want to do something about treats, business, and life, how does that work for you? Come on our podcast. We would love to have you. We love our guests. And how can they reach us, Taylor?
They can email us at treattalktuesday@gmail.com. I also found out that on Anchor, you can leave voice messages and we can add your feedback to the end of our show. So let us know. We also have a Facebook page where you can come in and conversate with us, and we can talk about different topics and things like that. So stay connected with us, and we'll make sure that we stay connected with you. So this week we have a podcast slideshow that Miss Tamala has put together. If you guys don't know, she's also the digital VA, virtual assistant. And so she's going to give us some tips and tricks about podcasting. We're just going to go through and discuss that. And then if you guys have any questions, as always, you can drop them down in the comment section, or you can talk to us on any one of those platforms we just discussed.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited about our podcast. I'm so excited about our Facebook group. It's a way for people to interact with us. If they watch our podcast a little bit later and say, hey, I have a question about that or whatever, go to our Facebook group. It's under Tamala and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday, and drop your comments, join, bring your friends, bring other treat makers, because we drop gems. I know we're talking a lot, but anyway, here we go. People are like, scroll through, fast forward.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do the scroll through, okay?
No. All right, here we go, Taylor.
All right. So, Tamala, you presented this to a group of people, this presentation?
I did. Thank you, Taylor, for mentioning that. I am a business advisor for a local community group, business networking group called Greater Linden Business Network. And our interim president, Carla, was not going to be able to chair the meeting this past Thursday. And she asked me to set in for her. So I was like, okay, what do I know already? And, what can I offer the members that show up to this monthly group? And so I came up with Podcasting for Beginners, a 5 steps to start. Podcasting for Beginners, 5 steps to start. So here's the slideshow presentation I presented. Taylor, jump in at any time, and we'll discuss. Cool?
All right.
All right. So here's my information. Tamala Walker. I'm the owner of Tamala, the digital VA. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, we're going to do the presenting here. So here it is. Podcasting for beginners, 5 steps to start. Okay, so what is a podcast? What do you think about podcasting, Taylor? I know that you know, but what's some things that come to your mind?
Some things that come to my mind are just open dialogues and communications. Some podcasts can be with guests or without
Hmm.
guests. Some can
Hmm.
just be, they can be pretty much topics about anything.
Hmm.
Anything that you feel like you're well versed in, anything you could speak about for hours and hours on end,
Yep,
that could be a podcast.
yep. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
You're absolutely right. Thank you. So the definition, according to Google, is that the definition of a podcast is a digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or a mobile device. So that's it in a nutshell. The other part is exactly what you're talking about, where you can talk about anything on a podcast. It can be a visual um, podcast, or it can just be an audio podcast. Okay. So here's some
Mhm.
stats for the numbers people in our audience. There's over 1 million active podcasts on Spotify. Spotify is just not just for music. Okay. You can also get podcasts on there as well. 78% of Americans are familiar with podcasting. 57% of Americans have listened to a podcast. 41% listen to podcasts monthly. That's good to know. And also that the monthly podcast engagement rate increased to 65% in the last 3 years. So my thing is, there are a billion people on Facebook now, Meta, I guess we should say. But there's a million people on Spotify, or at least in the podcast arena. And with that
Mhm.
being said, is that there's still room for you. If there's a billion people on Facebook, there's still room for you to make a podcast. And I'm showing these 5 steps to start. So here's the first step. Choose a name. Okay. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to be anything long. I would stay away from things that are trademarked like Coke, Pepsi, Disneyland, Disney World, or whatever you want to say. Okay. Keep it simple. KIS. Keep it simple. And they say Sally. I won't say the other words, but keep it simple. Next, you can use your business name. And that's why we titled this, what's our podcast name, Taylor?
Tamala and Taylor Street Talk Tuesday.
Absolutely. So you know exactly who we are. Okay. This is what we do. You know who we are. If you go to Tamala and Taylor's Street Talk Tuesday, you'll get to us, right? Okay.
You get a podcast
So
every Tuesday.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for the shameless plug. So if you're unsure, just choose up to 3 names and get feedback from family and friends on what works best for you. Okay. The next is the idea. The idea, the content, who are you targeting? Those things are really important when it comes to your podcast. Are you going to be a business? Are you going to have a business name? Are you going to inform? Are you going to entertain people? Do you have a niche? Like we have sweet treats, so we're that's niching down instead of just a bakery or candy or anything like that. So you're just really niching down to who your target audience is. Okay. What
Yep,
is the
that's very
culture?
important. I was
Go
gonna
for it.
say the niche is very important because you will attract who you would like to attract, and you will repel the people that do not want to be part of that audience.
Exactly. Good point. Thank you, Taylor. Really good point. And then you have the culture, the age, your region, hobby or talent. Maybe it's cooking. just think about something that you could talk about. And I get this analogy someone gave me years ago. Whatever you could wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and talk about that. Okay.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. If you can get up and somebody wakes you up at 2 a.m. and say, hey, how do you bake a cake? You'll know exactly what to tell them, you know?
Yeah,
So
go to
think
the
about
store
something.
and buy a box cake. I'm just
Oh,
playing.
well, there it is.
I'm just
There it
joking.
is. That might work too. A lot of people do
Depending
that
on who the
though.
depending on who the person is, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So anything you could talk about at 2 o'clock a.m. and 2 p.m. right off the top of your head, I would say go with that. And guess what, people? You don't have to use your own content. You can use others people's content. Um, you can comment on news topics. You can comment on celebrities. You can comment on other people cooking. You can comment on other people baking skills and show them and just make a commentary about that. How hard is
Right.
that? Right?
Not hard at all.
Yeah, I think it's rather easy. I mean, it's all, takes you up your time and brain space, but you can do it. So here is some equipment. This is step 3, equipment. So I use my smartphone a ton. Okay. So don't say, oh, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right this. I don't have the right that. If you have a smartphone, you can do a podcast, right? Am I right, Taylor?
Yes, yes, you are right.
Yes. And also some things that you probably already have is a laptop, a tablet, or desktop. A light, a ring light is very, very popular. You can go on Google and select the best one for you. I have a ring light. Actually, I have 2 or 3 of them, but also I have a daylight bulb that's really super nice. It actually kind of takes the place of a ring light. It just depends
Mhm.
on what time of day that you are filming or recording. Make sure your area is well lit. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's even some that you can attach to your smartphone and that will give you a ring light, okay? Or you can
One
attach
thing,
it to,
one
well,
oh,
please go
sorry.
ahead.
One thing that I would definitely add to this list, and I didn't realize how much storage podcasting, YouTubing, and all of these
Oh,
things take
yeah.
up. So an external hard very much
Okay,
effort and energy.
say it again because it went out a little bit. Say it one more time. Are you there?
All year that I did and different things like that. You don't want to have your data, or you don't want to have your videos lost and you can't go back and refer to it. You know what I mean? So try to keep everything in one place. An external storage drive, lots of memory will be great.
I need one of those right now
Yeah.
because recording videos eats up your data like nobody's business. And
Right.
you want to go back and refer to certain things that you have recorded. But let me tell you, even with the Google Drive and all that, you have to upload it to the cloud. It takes a lot. It really does. So that's a real, I mean, that might should be the number one thing. Maybe right under smartphone, get you
Right.
an external. So, that's a really good point. Um,
Thank
yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. In addition to what Taylor said, make sure you have an internet service, a Wi-Fi, or a hotspot on your phone. And also, sometimes a green screen is important depending on what your device is. You might want a background, you might want to have some things in the background you don't want to show, or you're in a space where there's a lot of people. You can, put up your green screen and put up whatever picture you want. Okay,
you.
go back the other way. And so the step 4 is your platform. Like, what platform are you going to use to showcase your audio or visual podcast? Well, guess what? We can do all of these, I think. YouTube, these are all free services, I believe. Yeah. YouTube, anchor.fm, Facebook, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Zoom, you can do an Apple podcast or Google podcast. These are all platforms, and I'm pretty sure there's probably 1,000 of them more, but these are really the top ones that people are familiar with.
Yeah, a good tip is you want to get a distributor platform. Like Anchor.fm distributes to Apple, Google Podcasts. I think our podcast is on like maybe like 20
Yep.
20 or 30 different places. And a lot of the people that listen to our podcast are not even in America. So this
Right.
information can be spread because if you pick the right podcasting platform, they'll translate it or, different things like that. One of ours is turned into like an actual blog. And so people read what we say. So that's
Really?
easy to translate. Yeah, I just found that out. It's easily translated into other languages because it's like turned into words. So yeah,
Watch what you say.
right.
But
You have
that's
a
amazing.
good listening ear.
It makes
So
you
yeah,
kind
you
of
can
think.
turn it into a
Too, like,
blog. You can turn it into many different things: video, YouTube, Facebook. You know, yeah, definitely be careful what you say, but be yourself and be authentic in whatever you
be
do
authentic
and
to
stand
yourself.
on what you say.
I think that's the wise word of the day. Be authentic and be yourself. Check.
Yep.
All right, here we go with the last step, payments. We all know that having a podcast is a way for you to communicate with your audience, but it's also a segue into what you have if you're a business, what you have available to offer, like sweet treats, like a logo stamp, hint, hint, like so there's different ways that people may want to just support you and give you stars on Facebook or YouTube or something like that. There's ways that people want to support you. So here are a few payment systems that are out there. They're very popular. Yes, there's many, many more, but these are really the tops that people are familiar with that I come in contact with, which is PayPal, Stripe, Venmo, and Cash App. Now, also, this is something that is really, really popular for the biggest shopping season of the year is you break up your payments. There's like Klarna, there's like the Pay Now, Buy
Exactly.
Now, Pay Later. That's what they're really called. Uh-huh.
It's really called cash advance.
That too. That really is what it is. That's what
It's not a good place to go. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's basically it's like an online cash advance
Okay,
situation.
okay.
When you doing the like pay once or pay a little now and keep
Yep.
paying. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if there are additional fees that goes in with that, but if you have like big ticket items that you're offering, say over $1,000, 5 or 6, $100 or something like that, you might want to think about offering that to your clients, or they can pay as they go. But it's just a way for you to still get your product to your client and they're able to receive and pay over time. Now, it's up to you what you want to do with that, but I'm just giving you the information. All right.
All right.
All
5
right.
simple
Cool.
steps.
So this concludes the podcasting for beginners. 5 steps to start. Here's my contact information if you want to know more about me and how I can help you start your podcast or Taylor to start a podcast because she's very versed in this as well. Reach out to us on our website, easytree.me. Don't worry about Want Day Digital, but go to easytree.me and go to Treat Talk Tuesday. Okay. So that concludes my presentation on that. So
Awesome,
we can
Tamala. You did a very good job. What type of feedback did you get from the people at the meeting?
So it was very entertaining, and it was very enlightening. They said I really brung the crowd in. I work with these, let me back up a little bit. The audience that's part of this group, they're over 50. Most of them are over 50. So I
Okay.
have to really be mindful about what information I give them. Some of them are really up on technology, but most of them are like hands off.
Right.
And that's been, I call it like my tech lab. I think I'm gonna start calling
Mhm.
it my tech lab. So I can enlighten these business owners about this social media world and this e-com world. But I really think that one person said they wanted to start a podcast because they have a nonprofit that they're
Oh,
doing some
nice.
fundraising for.
That'll be a
And
good way to do fundraising.
yeah, it's just a good way to share information, podcasting, and also share so people can get to know you better. People buy from people they like, whether it's donations, whether it's a product, whether it is seeing your bright, shiny face, on the screen, or hearing your voice. So people buy from what they like. They identify with that, and they say, "Yeah, I like what they're saying. I like what they're selling. I like what they're all about." So just, I think in addition to what you already do, if you're but anyway, podcasting is very important to not only get your for your business in this social world. It's important to your bottom line.
Well, with that being said, we thank you for coming on and visiting us at Tamla and Taylor Street Talk Tuesday. Make sure you leave comments down below. Make sure you listen to us on Anchor. If you can't see us on YouTube, we can be found on all social media platforms at Tamala and Taylor Treat Talk Tuesday podcast. If you would like to support us, we now have a Cash App. So you can support us at hashtag 5T podcast. And we'll make sure we put
Mm.
all of everything in the description down below. We appreciate you for coming on and taking the time to listen. If you need any help with starting a podcast or anything like that, you can contact Tamla, the digital VA, or if you have any questions for me, I'm also here. I can be found at Sweet Spirit Treats on Instagram or Facebook, or you can visit my Easy Tree.
Mhm.
So it's at www.easytree.com/Taylor's Kitchen LLC. So I'm gonna let Tamala give us her farewell. Excellent slideshow, Tamala.
Thank you. I really
Farewell.
came alive when I was presenting it, and just really shows that I'm passionate about what I talk about for business, and I'm passionate about how people receive and are able to grow and prosper in their business. That's really all the bottom line. And
Yeah.
I wish you every best, I won't say luck, blessing that God has for you in your life. Peace out.
Amen. Amen, sister. You
Yeah,
as well.
thank you. All right,
All
peace out.
right. Have a good week.
All right,
Bye.
bye bye.